The situation for British Prime Minister Boris Johnson is getting worse and worse. Now leading Conservative financiers are also withdrawing their trust from him. They are angry, call for new elections, and no longer believe in Johnson's political survival. And anger over Britain's Partygate hits the economy. A handful of wealthy entrepreneurs who have donated money to Prime Minister Boris Johnson's Conservative Party in the past are expressing doubts about the Prime Minister and making it clear that they are unwilling to spend more money in the face of constant revelations about the breaches of the corona restrictions, and they won't give anything to the party at the moment. I would like him to resign and then stand for re-election for the party, and if he does stand for re-election, then for the whole country. We need a fresh start or this will go on forever, John Griffin, founder of the Edison Lee taxi company, told The Guardian. The whole process is a disgrace, said Griffin, one of the top 20 Conservative donors, and he said the situation has become bizarre. Others are unwilling to give the Prime Minister a second chance. I can't see how he can get past Boris. I really can't. He just never changed and he won't change, said Michael Spencer, founder of finance brokerage Nex. And billionaire Peter Hargreaves, founder and shareholder of financial services firm Lansdowne Hargreaves, was even more explicit. He was very reluctant to further support the party financially. Before the last general election in December 2019, he had contributed £1 million. He doesn't want to do anything good, he just wants to be Prime Minister. That is the only item on his agenda, he said. The handful of financiers who openly vent their anger have so far been the exception. Most of them are reticent to make public statements like the Conservative MPs. Just half a dozen have called for Johnson's resignation. Most point to the commissioned internal investigation into the incidents by top official Sue Gray, which is to be presented in the coming days to clarify the many allegations. Since mid-December, new indications have been trickling to the public that parties were regularly celebrated in the ministries and especially in Downing Street, the seat of government, during the strict corona lockdowns of the past few months and now even some years ago. Johnson acknowledged that he attended one such event briefly but assumed it was a business meeting. Yeah, I still have to laugh about that one. The report, the announced investigation report, should now clarify who knew what about the events. John Caldwell accused the government of arrogance and hypocrisy. The textile, real estate and telecoms entrepreneur had donated £500,000 before the last election. While the rest of the country struggled to comply with the ever-changing rules, those who made the rules liberally and regularly ignored them. Catastrophic is the impression that the rules would only apply to the common people. The unfortunate picture worsened after the chairman of the board of directors of Credit Suisse, Antonio Horta Osorio, resigned from office after only 8 months for 2 violations of COVID quarantine rules. Horta Osorio was knighted by the Queen last summer for his services in rescuing the British bank Lloyds, whose boss he had been for 10 years since 2011. The Avenue revelations have long since put considerable pressure on the population's trust in Johnson. In the most recent opinion polls, the Conservatives are regularly a good 10 percentage points behind the opposition Labour Party. It is remarkable that even among those who voted Conservative in the last election, support for Johnson has now become a minority opinion, said polling expert John Curtis, professor of political science at the University of Strathclyde. Observers are convinced that the party does not have to worry about the financial situation because of the reluctance of its donors. The donations are decisive anyway, especially before an election to the lower house. That shouldn't happen for another 2 years because it's scheduled for 2024. Donors transferred £3.7 million to the party in the third quarter, according to the latest Electoral Commission data. Labour was only able to book around half. And I'll see you in my next video. Bis gleich.